Hello everybody, this is Milad and I'm very happy to be with you again in the second video actually. So in the very first video, in the previous video actually, I talked about the whole overview of how to apply. We have different steps how to apply to a job position. Also, it's a similar thing when it comes to applying to PhD positions or studies. In this channel, my focus is going to be applied to job positions. Also, I'm going to talk about how to prepare your CV, how to prepare yourself for applying to PhD positions. Because a little bit about my background, I came to Finland like 5 years ago, pursuing a PhD degree. So I studied PhD for the very first year, but then I quit because I was more interested in the industry and I wanted to be a developer, a data scientist. Before that, a long time before that, I was also a machine learning engineer, a data scientist. And then when I came to Finland for the very first year, when I was studying PhD, my job was partly developing platforms. So I was more interested in applying to jobs. And then I started applying to, hundreds of jobs and getting rejected. And it was really difficult for me to start from scratch to build my career here in Finland. So I'm coming from a Middle East country, and it wasn't really easy for me to do that, but through time, I learned how to do it. And this is the main reason why I started this channel, because I want to share with you all the experiences I gathered over the past few years. And also, I've been in touch with my friends doing the same thing in other countries, in other European countries, in Canada, in USA. And I've been in contact with a lot of people. I've been doing this in other channels as well and helped a lot of other people. But I wanted to do this full time and I wanted to focus on this in a new channel. So this is the whole purpose of this channel. So please make sure that you subscribe to this channel so you don't miss the upcoming videos, because step by step I'm going to go deeper and deeper. So in the previous video we talked about how to apply, what are the initial things we need to know about applying to a job. For instance, one important thing you need to know is that when you want to apply to a job, one important thing is to know is that uh, a lot of people think that they are competing with other candidates. That's true. There are a lot of candidates, applicants applying to the same job. It could be 20, it could be 100, it could be 200, and even more. And this is very important to know that you're not only competing with other candidates, but also competing with the job description itself, with the company you're applying to itself. The reason I'm saying that is that uh, people think that it's really hard to apply to a job, but they don't see the other side. I've been in different companies and I've seen this struggling with companies that they can't find the right candidate for the position they want. They also have problems and issues finding the right candidate. There have been cases that there were like hundreds of applicants applying for the same job, but at the end of the day, there was no suitable person for that job position. And they didn't hire anybody and then reposted again and again. If you look at LinkedIn, for instance, there are some positions that have been reposted over and over. It's been repeating over and over for the last few months. And the reason for that, it's not because nobody's applying to them. The reason is that the company is actually looking for the suitable person. So that's a very important thing to know, that nowadays it's completely different from like 10 years ago. 10 years ago, as long as you have the degree related to the job, a little bit related, and if you have a little bit of background, they will hire you. But nowadays they want specific uh, applicants. They want specific skill set. They want you to be relevant. They want to see this connection and similarity in your summary, in your skills, in your job experience, in your degree. They want to see it all over the place. They want to hire a senior person. Sometimes the job is just junior, or it's just a normal you know, a normal engineer. But at the end of the day, what they want actually is a senior with those specific skill sets. That's very important to know that even if you're good among other applicants, if you're better than them, that's not enough at the end of the day. It could be enough for some cases. There are some companies that they're in rush. They have to hire somebody immediately. So in those cases, it's very important that be better than other candidates, and that's good enough. But in most cases, what you need to know is that you also need to be a good match and also be better than other applicants. Okay, that's what I wanted to tell you. So in this video, instead of just talking and checking these diagrams, I want to actually overview the whole pipeline and actually doing real stuff to apply for a job. So right from the beginning, here having a draft, and then look at the job description, and then tailor our CV a little bit, and then rest of the steps. So this is what I'm going to do in this video. If you are interested, keep watching the video, and please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It's a new channel, and I'd like to know if you like these kind of videos. Please leave me some comment, give me some feedback to see what direction I should be. And yeah, thank you for that. So let's get it started. I already told you a little bit about my background. At the moment, I'm a senior data engineer in a pretty good company in Finland, well-known company. So the reason I'm saying this to you is that I want you to know that all this experience is coming from actual real situations that I had. It was very damn difficult. I got many rejections. It was really hard for me to understand why my CV is good, why they don't look at my CV even in the first place. This is the problem usually I see, is that people they don't even get the first interview. Even on paper, they're really good, but nobody takes a look at their CVs. And that's the problem. And this is something that I'm going to talk about, but in this video, just want to go through the whole pipeline, and then step by step in the following videos, I'm going to go deeper and deeper. Okay, so the very first thing is CV. So for the draft, what I mean by draft is that just try to write down everything that you know about yourself, all the experiences you have. But you need to keep this in mind, that all the experiences you're writing down should be irrelevant. Like 20 years ago, 15 years ago, when I was writing my CVs, I put everything in the CV. So, for instance, if I was looking for a developer job, also put my background in electrical engineering and all the experiences. But nowadays, when you look at my CV, you don't see anything related to electrical engineering. My background is electrical engineering. My degree is electrical engineering. But when I'm looking for a developer job or a data engineer or machine learning engineer, I don't put anything about electrical engineering except my degree. And I'll talk about that as well, how you can like tailor it in a way that it suits the position. But even if I add my degree in electrical engineering to my CV, I add some courses relevant to the position. So if it's programming, I add the courses I passed related to programming, to architecture. If it's related to machine learning engineer, I add the courses related to machine learning engineers. So to show that actually my academic background is also related to the position. This is very important to know. That's the very first step, that try to unify and make everything consistent. So when somebody look at your summary, skill set, job experience, degree, everything, all of them shows that you are relevant to this particular position. So if you're So first of all, you need to know which position you're going to apply to. So either you have the skill set or you have some interests. Either ways, you need to think about it. So are you going to be a data engineer? Are you going to be a machine learning engineer? Are you going to be a developer? Let me tell you this, that all the examples I'm going to tell you this video is about tech industry, all these positions, but also you can apply the same thing in other industries. It doesn't have to be tech industry. Even if you're a cook, if you want to apply for, as in medical areas, if you want to apply as a nurse, as a masseuse, everything, it doesn't matter, even just general work. You see this competition all over the place, all in all areas, in all industries. So it's not specific to tech industry. So you can apply all the techniques I'm going to tell you, but I'm going to use my personal experiences. However, I've been working with some other people from some other industries as well. And let me tell you this, if you want to have one-to-one session, you can check the description. I'm a full-time senior data engineer and I'm pretty busy these days, but I try to come up with some empty spots and slots in my calendar so I can have some one-to-one discussions to check your CV, to check if you're suitable for the position you're looking for, what you can do to make yourself better, and this kind of talks, because I like to know more about you, to learn from you. That's the reason why I'd like to do that. Okay, so my point is that just be relevant. So the very first thing we want to have in our CV, in our draft, is a summary of ourselves. So let's first create our draft. I'm going to simply use Google Doc. So these days there are a lot of tools for writing CV, for creating online CV or generating it with AI even. Okay, we'll get to those things as well, but for the very beginning of this journey, I highly suggest that don't use those tools. Just try it yourself. Try to come up with ideas with the basic draft yourself. It's a practice to understand yourself, to know what you know and what you don't know, and what skills you have, what skills you need to work on, and all these things. So it's not good practice go to ChatGPT or go to one of these AI tools or even CV tools out there, ask them to write me CV. It's not good practice, believe me. Also, I'm not using those tools for writing the CV because the very first thing you need to know is that you need to keep the record of your CV. You need to have it under version control. Because along the way, I told you that you need to choose which path you want to go. But it's not always like that. You have skills for a machine learning engineer, you could have skills for a developer, you could have skills for a data engineer, and you want to apply for all these jobs. Okay, so you have to have different versions of your CV and use the CV related to that position. That's what I did over the past few years. I've been in all these positions: machine learning engineer, data scientist, data engineer, and I've been applying to all these job positions because the overlap is huge. And my experiences, so for instance, if you know Python, a programming language, you can be a machine learning engineer, you can be a data scientist, you can be a developer. But what makes it different is that it depends on your background, it depends on your CV, how you wrote down your CV, and all this. So the very first thing I highly suggest, use Google Drive. So here, just create a doc. In here, I change it to draft. And here, the very first thing I'd like to do is insert a table. So here I use I can come up with table like this, and then so here I can come up with my name, for instance, so Milad, and some fake last name, and I can make it a bit bold and maybe a bit larger. In this video I'm not gonna focus on the style of the CV because it's just a draft, but in upcoming videos I will be spending more time on creating the actual CV. So here you have your name, and here probably you want to have your current title. So I can say data engineer, and I can make it a bit smaller. So like this, and then here I can have right below it, I can have my summary. So it's going to be a little bit about me, or I can have it right here, that's fine. So you just need to tell about yourself. When it comes to summary, it should be 2 or 3 sentences, that's enough. So first of all, you say that what you do, what's your main skills, and what's the goal. So here simply you can say a data engineer who has worked with different tools like Python, GCP, etc. over the past 6 years. Currently working as a senior data engineer in XYZ company. Now I'm ready to use my skill and experiences as the position you're looking for. Or you can even add the name of the company, but it's not that normal to add the company's name you're applying into your CV. That's for the cover letter. So here now I'm ready to use my skill and experiences. Or you can put it like this way. I'm ready to at the moment I'm looking for a position to use my experiences, skills, you can add proven. Of course you can use ChatGPT later on to make it much better, but you need to come up with the basic idea what you're looking for. Experiences and skills in a high tech company, like that. So here I'm just giving you the rough idea about the structure of the draft and the basic stuff that you need to think about. And here you also can add some information about yourself, like email, phone, address, or location. You don't need to add address, but location would be good. And now as the next step, what we want to see is skill. So skills, we can use bullet points here. So here one important thing, as I told you, it should be relevant to the position you're going to apply to. But for the first draft, try to come up with all the skills you have. So Python, JavaScript, cloud like GCP, AWS. Of course, you need to be, it's not enough to add just Python, JavaScript. I'm just talking the general stuff. And so on. Also, you can add another column here as well, but you need to put all the skills you have here. And as soon as you're done with the skills, now it's time for experiences. And then in the next section, we will have degree and certification. So your CV shouldn't be longer than 2 pages. And in the very first page, you need to have everything that is needed. So in most cases, you're gonna have skills and experiences in the first page, and then degree, certification in the second page. Some people add their hobbies as well, some external project they're working on, some personal, projects. So experiences here, what you need to do, you can again add another table inside here. Again, this video is not about writing the CV, so I'm not paying attention to the style itself, but it's just a draft. But in the upcoming videos, I will talk about that as well. So experiences in here, you need to say that company X, Y, Z, 2015 to 2017. And here you need to let them know what you were doing there. So here I can say, like, before that, machine learning engineer, put this below it. And here for the actual stuff, you need to be very specific. What you've done, what was the result? So developed a image processing model to recognize objects and increase the accuracy up to 98%. So it's a concrete result, and they like to see that. If it's relevant to the position, it's very amazing. So you just need to keep that in mind, and also some other stuff as well. And you need to copy this for all the positions you had. And also here you talk about the degrees you have: BSc, MSc, and etc. So it's a very good point that you just know what you know, what you have, what you did, what are your skills, and everything related to that. So you may say that I don't have any experience, I'm a junior, or I'm looking for a trainee position. So what should I do about this experience part? So as the experience part, when you're applying as a junior, or like you just graduated from university, for this experience, probably you've done some other workshops during your university. Like there was a 6 month trial, there was a like 2 months workshop, there was like you have worked on a project for somebody else. It wasn't even a full-time job, it was just part-time, it was just project based, but you can add it here in a way that it's useful, in a way that they can look at it and say that, okay, this guy has done this project during this time, so it's relevant to what we want to do here. So it doesn't have to be actual full-time job, but you can also add your projects if you're junior, of course. As you grow, as you get more experience, you remove those project-based experiences and you put actual experiences working in a company there. So also similar for degrees. So some people say that I don't have any degree, or my degree is not even related. So Even if it's not related, just add it to the CV. That's fine. But you need to come up with some certifications. So you can pass some online free certifications. You can get it online, or you can go to some courses, or you can go to some workshops. Definitely, you need to do that. It's very important. If you don't have the job experience, you need to have some kind of degree or certification highly relevant to the position. If you have the job experiences long enough, you don't need certifications or degrees that much. So you don't need certificates. But if you have all of these things, I mean, related certificates, related job experience, related skills, that's amazing. Also, you need to pay attention to this, that it should be relevant. So this can be your draft for your CV. And now for the next part, one important thing about skill and interests, I should say that. So here also, if you don't have any skill, I highly suggest that you actually, so if you're applying for Python developer job, and if you don't know anything about Python, well, what you can do is you can put it as interest here. So it means that basically I'm also interested in this stuff. So it could be, it's not exactly my skill, but I'm kind of interested in this. But it's not really good to have interest here. What I suggest you to do is to learn the skill while you're applying for the job. So if the job position needs a Python developer, a junior Python developer, and you don't know anything about Python, but you know a little bit about JavaScript or some other frameworks, what you need to do is put the Python here, and while you're applying to the job, try to learn the basic stuff about Python. So when they look at your CV, okay, they say that the guy knows a little bit about Python, and then there's a good chance that they ask you for the interview, and while they're interviewing you, they assess your capability of Python. So at least you earn the chance to interview with them. Maybe they just give you the chance to learn the tools they want you to have during the trial period. It happens a lot of times. It actually happened to me like a couple of years ago when I applied for the very first job, that I didn't know anything about PHP. They wanted to have a PHP developer, but I was interested in Python. I knew a lot about Python and JavaScript, but I didn't know anything about PHP and also Drupal framework, which is not that famous. But because of the background and all the skills I had, and I convinced them that I can learn it really fast, and they gave me the option. Sometimes they do that for you, but you need to actually give them the hint that you are interested, or you're trying your best to learn that tool. So one important thing you need to know that is, don't lie. Never tell a lie. That's wrong. But you can do some sugar coating. What it means is that, as I told you, first of all, when it comes to here, for instance, when you're writing down your summary, or here when you're writing down what you did in the previous company, so the way you're explaining this, it's not 100% truth, but it's not also a lie. It's something in the middle, because it's not always easy to prove that you actually increase the accuracy of model to 98%. It's not gonna happen in real life. In real situation, this is something that is not that easy to measure. But you're actually putting the numbers here to just make it more bold that you are good with image processing models and you have a concrete result here. So it may not be 98%, but you're trying to tell them that you are good with image processing and you care about the result. So this is the way that you need to tailor your CV. You need to be able to come up with good sentences. That's very important. And it's kind of called sugar coating. Also, another thing you can do when it comes to skills is like changing the order. For instance, when they're looking for a person with JavaScript skill set, but you know a lot about Python, but you know a little bit about JavaScript, but you also put JavaScript here. The only thing you just need to do, that's the only thing you need to do. Just replace the order. But now when they look at your CV unconsciously, they think that, okay, JavaScript is the main programming language you're working with, but actually in real life, it's not like that. And here you just put the, tools you work with here. The order itself doesn't mean anything, but unconsciously, when somebody look at this, JavaScript takes the first place. So that's another thing you can do. And even here, for instance, you can replace this with you work with Python, you work with JavaScript, and you are a lot better with Python language. But here, instead of Python, you just add JavaScript. You're not saying I'm perfect with JavaScript. You're not saying that I don't work with any other tools. You're just saying that tools like JavaScript. And unconsciously, it comes to their mind that JavaScript is one of the tools that you're very good with. So you need to be very careful what you put here. It's not just random stuff here. Okay. Also, same thing when it comes to degree and certificates, like here in your MSc. So as I told you, here you can add courses. And when you're applying for machine learning engineer position, so they like to see some courses related to the fundamental of machine learning. So you can add physics here, for instance, but it's not relevant. But what you can do is add, for instance, image processing course or pattern recognition course. Unconsciously, when they look at this, they think that your master's studies been more related to this machine learning stuff rather than anything else. So that's the way you need to build your CV, because this is exactly what they want to see. It's not that we are tricking them. It's the way that it works, because you can put everything in your life in the CV. You can come up with 10-page CV, but it's not good for any company. They don't like to see that. If you fill this section with all the courses you've passed in your master's studies or your bachelor studies, they don't want to see that. They just want to see the relevant stuff. And they actually want to know that you know and understand that what the position is about. If you put everything here and it's not relevant to the position, obviously you don't understand what they want from you. And that's a big problem. But as soon as you tell them that, okay, I know what you want, I understand what you're looking for, and here's my relevant experiences, and when you do that, that's enough for them. Even they know that you're not 100% there. They know that you're not 100% fit for them, but at least they know that you know what they want from you. Okay, I hope it's not too confusing. So far it's been like 35 minutes already, and we are just in the draft part. So maybe I might say that this is enough for this video. I wanted to actually take a look at the job description as well and then tailor our CV, but let's do it very quickly, and then in the upcoming video, next video, I can talk more about this and continue from this part. So one of the most important and most famous tools out there or websites out there for looking for a job is LinkedIn, in my opinion, when it comes to technical positions, of course. So here I just need to look for jobs. I can look for software engineer. So here, for instance, let's say we're going to apply for this position in Reactor lead software engineer. So at least you need to have like 5 years of experience. This is the very first thing you need to show in your CV. That's very important. So here, 6 years, good enough, I guess. But let's take a closer look at the description, what it wants. A long list of skills it needs. Okay, so it says that understanding experience of agile project management. So when it comes to the soft skills, usually I separate this into two sections. One section is for the hard skills, you could say, and also here it's for soft skills. So you need to have good communication, agile work. So if you don't know what agile means, is that you can do the tasks as they come. Every 2 weeks we have new tasks and tickets to do. So this is a way of working agile. You need to have team leading experiences. So what you can do when you're writing your CV, just try to copy and paste it over here and then try to rephrase it a little bit. So team leading and consulting experience. So I can say team leading experience and work with clients and consultancy experience. When it comes to writing down skills, it shouldn't be like just 1 or 2 words. You can have a whole sentence there. Several clients, as I said already, so as long as your CV matches enough with the job description here we have, you're good enough for them to just give you the interview option. And they want to see relevant stuff there, and not only in skill section but also in the job experience section. So here, technical stuff, what they want is Java, Scala, Kotlin, Clojure, and Python. So also Node.js, Type.js, JavaScript. So the very first thing, just add these tools to your skills, because a lot of times in some companies, the very first round of filtering the CVs happening using machines, using systems. So AI just look at your CV to see if you have relevant experience. So if you don't have JavaScript in your CV, how on earth they can understand that you have experience with these tools? So you just need to put it in a way there. But it's not enough to have it here, but also you need to include it here. So I've been like web developer, company X, and then what I did, implementation of data gathering platform with Node.js, leading a team of 5 developers working with client to deliver the features in agile way, and so on. So you need to reflect it in your job experiences. What they want here, they want to see it mainly in your job experiences. And that's what this lead software engineer says. So if you're junior, obviously, and if you don't have the enough background, of course, it's not going to be a good case for you. So then you go through the rest of the, and also here we have CI/CD pipelines, etc., PostgreSQL, and that's it. So, but these are just technical stuff, but also you need to look for the actual skill set they want you. It's a long list of skill set, but what is it actually they want to see in the very first place? So here, obviously, what they want to see with this lead software engineer, they want to know that you actually lead a team of like 5 or 6 developers, building a project from scratch. All the tools they mentioned here have been involved, and then you need to give them a concrete example in your previous job positions. And even if you give them this, it's not going to be enough probably, because there are other candidates with more experiences, with more years of experience. So 6 years for leading probably is not enough. Usually what they like to see is 10 years of experience. And you need to show this 10 years here. And so if you work like 1 year in this company, 1 year another company, it doesn't do any good. You need to be in a company for 3 or 4 years for them to believe you that you actually did something there. So there are a lot of small points here, small tricks that you need to be aware of that. And they say what they want, what they can do in the company, etc. It's not really important. So this is the main part of the job description, and you probably see this in most of the. So here, see that it's C++ programmer. So this CV you have here, it's not useful. You can use this CV for this position, okay? And already 70 applicants applied to this position. So you will have 0 chance between 70 applicants for C++ with this CV you have, because there is no sign of C++ here. And some people think that, okay, I have a great CV, I have 10 years of experience, I have a leading and consulting experiences, I have all these experiences and skill set. Why they didn't accept me for the position or for the interview at least? The reason is simple. There is no match between your CV and what they want. Okay, I think that's good enough for this video. I just wanted to give you a rough idea, and then you need to come out making the CV better and better. This is what I'm going to do in the next few videos coming up. So then you tailor your CV, keep the data, and then it comes to cover, motivation letter. Well, usually you don't need it, but we'll talk about it later on as well. But I guess I already told you the important pieces. You can already start working on your CV and tailoring based on what they want from you. I hope this video is useful for you, and please subscribe to my channel. Also, if you want to have a one-on-one discussion, check the description. Hopefully I can find the time for you. Thank you for watching. See you soon.